Of course, we're still in Afghanistan. We're still in Afghanistan, and it appears we will be in Afghanistan for the foreseeable future. Probably much longer than we will be in Iraq. Because we didn't finish the job. 2001, in October, November, and December, only 12 American soldiers died. That's because we didn't have many American soldiers there. We relied on what Donald Rumsfeld at the time called the light footprint. A more economical way of waging war, as opposed to what he considered the heavy footprint of Operation Desert Storm with its 500,000 soldiers and months of buildup. You see, Donald Rumsfeld, when he came into the Pentagon in 2001, was determined to transform the military from Cold War footing with heavy equipment to what he considered necessary for the post-Cold War world. A military that could be quickly deployed to hotspots, that would rely on technology instead of brute force. And for the first few months in Afghanistan, it seemed to work. But what's happening on this table? It's a table of military deaths. U.S. in red, coalition partners here, total in the third column. Number of deaths increase every year. We didn't finish the job. And those 12 Americans killed has now become 704, and it promises to be a much larger number as we move forward in time. Through 6 months of this year, 74 American soldiers have died, meaning we're on pace for another 150 deaths this year in Afghanistan. The troop numbers here on the left of the screen were actually somewhat outdated now, because President Obama has pledged 20 to 30,000 more American ground troops to this country, because it's slipping away from us. The Taliban was not extinguished. Mullah Omar, its leader, is still at large. And Osama bin Laden, of course, is still at large, as are all of his truly high-ranking lieutenants. The Taliban, with help from Al Qaeda, has largely reformed itself and now controls large portions of the country. In many respects, the only truly safe place in Afghanistan today is the capital, Kabul. And in point of fact, that's the only place that the president of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, actually has authority. 8 years after we went in there and supposedly took care of business, Americans are still dying. British, French, Italian, Polish, German, Dutch soldiers are still dying and will continue to die. 8 years later. I don't know where things will end in Afghanistan. I don't know if we'll ever get to the point of finding Osama bin Laden, finding Mullah Omar, or at least confirming that they're dead. I don't know that that will ever happen. That ship might have sailed. Osama bin Laden has access to vast financial resources. And there's every reason to believe that he is still alive. The man that we were supposedly going to find, smoke out, and bring to justice dead or alive in 2001 is still a free man in 2009. This is in no small part, ladies and gentlemen, because we took our eye off the ball. Took our eye off the ball and placed that eyeball squarely on Iraq. A country that had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. As I've said, that's in fact an impossibility. Osama bin Laden wouldn't give Saddam Hussein the time of day. In fact, do you know who the first person to approach the Kuwaiti royal family and the Saudi royal family in August of 1990? The first person to approach these royal families and offer military assistance. Not the United States of America, not Egypt, not Jordan. It was Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden said that he had thousands of trained fighters in Afghanistan that he would gladly bring to the Middle East to take care of Saddam Hussein. Doesn't sound like an ally to me. Next time, we're not going to look at Camp X-ray at Guantanamo Bay. We'll touch on it when we talk about Abu Ghraib in the Iraq lectures. The Iraq Reloaded lectures, that is. Instead, next time, we'll look at the 9/11 Commission report and what it has to say about what happened on the 11th day of September, 2001.